Please tell me I didn't just say all that while the mic wasn't working. Well, luckily, I realized that now. Imagine if I read the whole thing and there was never anything. Hold on, let me also check if this works. Yeah, that works. Okay, one more time. I restarted the stream to get the timer activated on my phone. That way, when I read the SCP titles and then I put it onto YouTube, I can just look on my phone and be like, oh, when did I say this number? Instead of going through the whole VOD and, well, not the whole VOD, but like specific moments of the VOD and try to like finesse where I exactly say it. It just saves time. And then I complained, wrong arm again. Then I complained about the LED neon lights because I activated them and they just faded away after like 30 seconds. And then they started blinking, and I saw it from the OBS that it started blinking. So, and the more I looked back, they stopped blinking, which felt very horror-esque. And I was like, this is not the time. That should not happen while I'm reading SCPs. That, like, you know, electricity just goes like boom, whoa, 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 and then the moment you look, it's just like, we don't need that. But okay, finally, we can actually officially start reading. Sorry about that. That was a whole bunch of delays and all that stuff, but we are here. We have romantic. First of all, timer. That's why I have it. Bam. We have romantic ghosts. Just as I complained about weird shenanigans that happens in horror movies, now we have a ghost that's romantic. Well, I assume it's like an unseen entity, but it always does like romantic gestures. But like, you know, it's a type of romantic where it's like, yes, in the 60s this would be considered romantic, but nowadays it's just creepy. Just like, you know, you wake up and like there's like flowers in your room and stuff like that. It's like, oh, somebody came into my window and put the flowers in. It's like, oh, okay, maybe in the 60s that would have been creepy as well. You know what I mean? Like the stereotypical, like, oh, back then that was romantic, but nowadays you just think like, that kind of is just like low key stalker. That's why I feel like, why does it have to say original song from the DreamWorks animation Trolls, really? Okay, here we go. Euclid. Due to the incorporeal nature of -2, it cannot be moved to a safe distance from a local residence. As such, area 1170 has been built around -1. The entire apartment complex has been blocked off. However, due to its rather public location, Foundation personnel are required to maintain the skies within view. You know, I think it's a better explanation. Casper the Friendly Ghost, right? He in this movie, he's all like, he has a crush on a girl. And then he's like trying to, like, you know, stay with her and win her heart and do things to like prove that he's worth it. But then he said something along the lines of like, "Can I keep you?" when she was asleep. Like he just leaned in and was like, "Can I keep you?" And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Maybe as a kid that's like a romantic thing to do or say, but as an adult I'd be like, I would just be like, Casper, please step away from the child. Casper, step away from the child. You are in. You're putting a child in danger. Step away from the girl. I'm just saying. It's creepy. Shift changes for guards stationed at area 1170 occur every 3 hours. No personnel are to enter SCP or -1 except in special cases and under any circumstances. Okay, -1 is a windowless bedroom located on the second floor of apartment 21 in the apartment complex, British Columbia. The room measures 8.5 times 11 times 3.2 meters with hardwood floors and concrete walls. It appears empty on all security footage. The room cannot be illuminated by visible light, excluding the built-in light fixture, as -1 seems to absorb all visible wavelengths. The interior of the room appears pitch black when viewed without specialized equipment. Light outside the visible spectrum appears to encounter no resistance from -1, allowing use of infrared and night vision cameras. All light with wavelengths shorter than 1 meter is in some way affected by -1. It is not known whether radio waves are also manipulated. Audio recording devices have been shown to be at least partially functional. -1's active anomalous properties are triggered upon activation to the room built-in light fixture. Okay. Located approximately 0.75 meters from the door on the west-facing wall, subject present when this light is on claim that the bedside lamps in the room activate. Although security footage shows no change in luminescence, and infrared cameras do not detect any heat sources other than the subjects. The ghost just lays down next to you and is like, "Do you wanna cuddle a little bit? Like you down for a little bit of cuddling, or no? Okay, I see. It's just Henry. That's the ghost. It's just Henry going like, cuddle time. and you're just like, oh no. I'm not feeling it today. I'm sorry. I'm a bit tired. Excuse me. In addition, subjects described the room as having a bed or a fireplace, 2 bedside tables, and 2 lamps, none of which appear in security footage. It is theorized that its effect may be purely psychic in nature. The ghost is like, "I'm gonna set the mood, baby. Ooh, you gonna like it. You gonna love it. It's gonna be romantic. It's gonna be good." Approximately 1 minute and 30 seconds after the light fixture is activated, an entity hereafter -2 appears on night vision cameras. Naked. Hey, hon. Though only barely, as wavelengths emitted are only up to 10 in the power of -6 meters in length. -2's anatomy is apparently humanoid, except for its inverted joints. I was hoping it would say, except for its giant head, which would be really funny if it was just Casper. Casper just comes back, it's like, I'm an adult now, and I'm feeling feisty. Footage taken shows no interaction between the subject and -2. At some point, 2 seconds and 40 minutes. At some point between 2 seconds and 40 minutes after -2 appears, both it and any foreign object in the room, including cameras, external lights, and test subjects, vanish. Oh, he's taking you somewhere. To Pound Town, that's where. -2 is visible only. You know what? I'm gonna try something here. SCP. Yeah. Let's see if that does anything. If I maybe. Okay. Subject vanish. -2 is visible only to human subjects who have been present in -1 for the entirety of the time between the most recent activation of the light fixture and the subsequent appearance of -2. Exiting the room is not recommended while -2 is present in the room, as did expunged. It is unclear whether or not -2 physically exists or is simply a near-infrared illusion produced by -1. I just imagine the ghost be like, "Oh, I'll show you if I exist. I'll show you with love. With all the romantic moves I can pull. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna make you feel it." He's just like, it's just it's the Johnny Bravo of ghosts. It's like, "Whoa, mama." It just shows up, takes you somewhere else against your will. And you're just there like, listen, I understand what you're trying to do, but I'm not interested. I don't really swing into the ectoplasm way. Subject inside -1 are seen to converse with a partner while -2 is present. The content of these conversations suggests that they are in fact speaking with -2. Furthermore, the sudden emotional changes experienced by subjects conversing with the entity suggest that -2 may have an mimetic effect. -2 has avoided all directed questions about any subjects unrelated to love and romantic partnership. Okay. So -2 does not want to talk about it. Does not want to talk about anything except when it comes to love, romance, passion. Objects occasionally appear at random in -1. Most are mundane and have no apparent anomalous properties. However, there have been several instances of blood appearing on the walls, roof, and floor of the room. Genetic testing revealed it to belong to Class D personnel who had dispersed along with -2. Fecal matter, semen, saliva, and dildo expunged. Oh, they went full on kinky. Have also been recovered, all consistent with previous test subjects. Ooh, they went full. There was no kink shaming. All the fetishes came out, and that ghost was reciprocating all of it. Excuse me. It says here transcript of audio log 1170-R-32. Forward. The other receivers during this test were put on frequency of redacted, as well as being placed in new locations around -1 in hopes of receiving more intelligible audio. Log begins immediately after the manifestation of -2. D20192 is the sole test subject. Begin log. Oh god! Wait. Oh my god! What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Please don't be scared. I only came. Wait, no, I need to be like, please don't be scared. I only came here for you. Oop. Excuse me about that. Wait, what? For me? I'm a criminal. What do you want with me? I want to love you. We can be together. Are you even a chick? I'm not into that other thing. I'm not sure what a chick is, but I can assure you that our love will fit well. Dude, this is fucking weird. Oh, God, we can do it. This is where we can live. No barren residence filled with ungratefuls. Don't appreciate you. I want to love you. I want. I love you. So, Sobbing continues. D20192 moves to kneel beside -2. Oh, he's like straight up. I need you. He's straight on his knees like, take me away. Take me away from this wretched place and make me yours. And he's like, and then -2's like, yes. I'm gonna make you feel good. Less than 4 seconds after the conclusion of this audio log, -2 and D20192 simultaneously simultaneously disappear from the room. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna make you feel good. Like imagine like he goes from like about like very sensual and like romantic to like creepy. I want you to feel loved. I want you to feel appreciated. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna show you a good time. I'm gonna show you the best of time. Look at the mask, my boy. It just becomes a Godfather. Oh, I'm gonna show you the best of time. I don't care what gender you're. Okay. Humans go home. Fuck. Humans go home. There we go. Gotta say it twice. So nice, I had to say it twice. Humans go home. I highly doubt it's just an SCP that just sends you home. I think home is gonna be some like whole different place on Earth, and for some reason, certain people get picked and they just cease to exist and live in a place that they considered familiar, but not quite. You know, like it's like this. It's this sensation that a lot of SCPs have that sensation. It's like, oh, it feels like that, but not fully. In this case, it's gonna be like, oh, yeah, it feels like I'm supposed to belong here, but I don't know why. I have no idea why. Oh. On that right, Henry. He agrees with me. Now you click. Whoa, 1,819 ratings. This is a big boy one. Okay. SCP-1171 is currently occupied by a doctor who has established a false identity as a technical writer. A tall wall has been erected around the backyard, and all anomalous windows visible from the front of the house have been fitted with shutters. For security, several agents have moved in under the guise of lodgers. SCP-1171 is a two-story house in Queensland, Australia. Okay. It was built in 1958 and has been owned by several families, most of whom report no unusual activity. So you can own it. You can take it. It's definitely an object-like thing. The anomalous properties of SCP-1171 manifest on various windows of the house. Regardless of relative humidity, a layer of condensation is continuously formed on the window panes. The source of this moisture is as yet unknown. I mean, if you live in a warm place, is that... I was about to say, is that like that might be good for you, but in the same time, that doesn't seem like a very good thing to have for the window or the window frame if it's constantly wet. That just might slowly rot away the window frame around it. An entity, of course. We just had an entity. We had a ghost who's like, let me show you. And now we have an entity hereby referred to as -1 communicates by writing in the condensation. Oh, like when Tom Riddle talked to Harry Potter for the book, for his diary, just like, who are you? A friend. As though we're running on appendage along the surface of the window. No biological traces have been discovered on the windows that can be attributed to -1. Two-way communication can be accomplished by writing back. I fucking knew it. It is Tom Riddle's book. Also, can we just talk about how the name Tom Riddle, that already sounds like a kid that's going, cause mischief, mayhem and mischief, shenanigans, but tomfoolery, just all of it. -1 is apparently an inhabitant of another world, calling itself Bruhomont. It claims not to be human and is actively hostile to humanity. Oh, that must be fun. It asks you what you are. You're like, human. I'm human. And it just starts throwing slurs at you that you don't understand because you're not in his world. It's like a whole new, different type of insulting somebody. It believes that Doctor is to be an entity similar to itself. Please see interview log 123 to 114. The most recent owner, John Wedham, complained about ghosts, prompting investigation by civil authority. And eventually Foundation agents. Following the investigation, the house was purchased through a front organization and Mr. Wedham memories altered. It's getting cold, man. To the extent where I'm almost thinking like wrapping myself up in a blanket and while reading this. I should have made myself some tea. I want to have some tea today. Damn. Following the investigation, the house was purchased through a front organization. Mr. Wortham's memory altered. Yeah, of course. Yes. Interview log 123. What voice do I give this guy? A carbon-based monkeys go home. Hello? There's a pause. Is someone there? My name is Dr. Nice to meet you, I'm Beaumont. Where are you? In my living room. Where are you? What are you wearing? That's when the ghost steps in. What you wearing? in another living room. This is neat. How are you doing this? I don't know. I thought you were doing it. It's good to have someone intelligent to talk to. An oval with 5 dots and a curved line appear. Wait, an oval with 5 dots and a curved line appears. 2 dots were below the line, one above it and 2 on the left. It is assessed that this is -1's version of a smiley face. Interesting. Okay, so do they have like... Wait, it said 5 dots though, right? 2 dots were below the line, 1 above it, and 2 on the left. Okay. Is there no one else there? Mostly just a bunch of gamuts and carbon lovers. Can't hardly stand any of that political correct crap. Gamuts? Yeah, you know, humans. Don't you have them there? Pause for a moment and then answers, no. Tell me about humans. Oh, they're the worst. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not racist. I'm not racist, man. But they fucking suck. I wish they would die. Some of my best friends are humans, but if they're as good as us, why do they need skin? Am I right? I'm just trying to figure out like what this character is supposed to be, and I love how he's like, oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not racist. I have human friends. Beautiful, beautiful take on the. I'm not racist. I have black friends, you know. I suppose so. Say, what do you look like? Oh, pretty average. 7 tendrils tall, brown carapace, green bioluminescence, blue eyes. You? Same. Oh, he's gonna get pissed once he finds out you lied to him. Once he finds out you lied to him, he's gonna be like, I see, this is why I can't trust humans. You all the same. You damn dirty apes. Doc, you there? I think I'm doing like a deep voice with like a bit of Marge, like, homie. I am now. How are you, Paramount? I've been better. Lost a promotion to a goddamn primate. I'm sorry to hear that. It's okay, it just hurts. I know I'm better than any air-sucking sack of protoplasm. I've worked hard, you know. I know. so such minimalistic answers. I work hard, okay? I try my best. I'm aware. I just don't know what to do. Oh well. They come in, they take our jumps. I tell you, Doc, one of these days they're going to push us too far. Not that I'm saying we should get violent, but it's the natural result of things keep going this way. Wow, this guy is saying a whole lot of shit that I actually heard once. I hope it doesn't come out. I hope it doesn't come to that. Oh, sure, no one does. I mean, they can't help being what they are, but they keep coming in. I mean, I don't mind having a few as neighbors, as long as they mind themselves. But would you want your spawn sip to marry one? I suppose not. It hurts and it's funny at the same time. Doc, you there? He's out. I'm watching his house for him. Who are you? My name's John Doe. I'm a human. Oh, I didn't know Doc knew any humans. Is that a problem? I mean, he did say like he did say he doesn't have humans on his side, so. No. It's about time Doc got some human friends. Good to see that he's meeting new people. Glad to hear that. Variety is the spice of life. That's my motto. How are you? Is your skin nice and flexible inside, full of fluids? Everything is satisfactory. Thank you. I've got to go. You take care, John Doe. Doc, are you there? I'm here, Beaumont. Did you know there was a human in your house? Yes, he moved here recently. Well, I had some words with him. He was a bit lippy, but I put that gamut in his place. I see. He didn't give you too much trouble, did he? Nothing I can handle. You got to know how to talk to them, is all. Let them know who's boss. That's the ticket. I'll keep that. That is absolutely not what happened. It's totally what, like, you know, the moment I get someone who's, like, racist has to actually deal with some, like, especially, like, somebody from the race that he's racist to, and they're, like, are super nice towards him. Or, like, just indifferent. And then they're like, oh, no, I didn't say anything. And then, like, once another person's like, oh, man, I totally fucking, I just did it, you know, I fucking went in there. Sure, there was balls. It's like, yeah, sure. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Some doggy is barking outside. Show him who's boss, bro. Show him who's boss. You fucking show that dog who's boss. Or whoever you're barking at. You might be barking at another dog, you might be barking at a cat, you might be barking at a human, you might be barking at aliens. Or a romantic ghost that wants to take your daddy or mama away, and you're like, no, they don't want this. Okay. Oh God, Jesus. Here we go. Double word scare. Double word scare. I don't know why I'm thinking of Scrabble, but like in the moment, like that, you like manage to like connect two words into one, and you like, and everybody's like, you did not just do that. Double word scare. Could also mean like a word that has double meaning, but the double meaning is scary. Spooky, scary. It's safe. We got our first safe. We had 2 Euclids before, now we have a safe. The item may be stored in any standard low security storage room with sign-in/out protocols in place. Testing may be performed in situ. If the item is to be transported, the bag should be tightly closed during the drawstring and a sealing clip, and the bag be placed upright into a foam-lined case to prevent risk of the tiles becoming separated from the bag. Strong sealing clips are to be left in the nearest guard's office to secure the mouth of the bag during transport. In the event of any of all of the tiles becoming separated from the bag, protocols requires that the area is cleared in a radius of at least 10 meters in all directions, and an automated robot is used to bring any spilled tiles in contact with the bag. Once this is done and SCP-1172 is complete, the cleared area may be re-entered safely and the bag secured. We got the bag, boys. SCP-1172 is a nylon bag made from thick flax fibers, rendered green by dye derived from the skin of Pachysarius, a cactus plant. It contains 100 white plastic tiles, 98 of which are marked with letters of the Roman alphabet. That's a lot of letters. I assume are the like repeated letters as well, because so far I know, we don't have that many letters, unless the Roman alphabet has like a lot more. The letter distribution is identical to that of a shop-bought Scrabble set. I mentioned Scrabble, and it's actually in here. The remaining 2 wildcard tiles, usually blank or marked with a single dot in the commercial set, are slightly darker and marked with drawing of an eye rendered on the plastic by the same embossing and paint used for the lettering. These 2 tiles feature no score numbers. Attempts have been made to photograph the design. In each case, the tiles have been. What is wrong with my reading? In each case, the tiles have appeared on film as being standard blank tiles. Drawings of the tiles are successful, however. Removal of the tiles from the bag must be performed in accordance with strict protocol. Of course, this SCP has a strict protocol. It's a bag that has something to do with Scrabble, and it has a strict protocol. Removed tiles must not be taken removed tiles must not be taken more than 30 centimeters from the bag. Absolutely safe limit has been recorded as 54 centimeters. Once a tile is taken from the bag, at least 6 others must have also be removed. They must in turn be placed to the immediate right of the previous tile. No more than 10 tiles are to be removed per use, after which all tiles must be returned to the bag. These criteria were established during testing by using an automated robot to remove the letters and then retreat slowly from the bag until anomalous effects were noted. Any breach of this could result in serious injury. When tiles are removed from the bag and placed in left-right order in 96% of the situations, 166 out of 173 tests, the tiles placed formed English words. These words were often found to have a relevance to the test subjects, but in some cases the relevance were not apparent until events after the test transpired. D-class personnel for whom the resulting words were not relevant are to be excused from termination procedures until said relevance is observed. The remaining 9 subjects drew the tiles containing the eye symbol during the test. In every case, once the eye symbol had been drawn, the next time the subject attempted to retrieve a towel, they would experience the sensation of being touched on the fingers from the inside the bag. The same occurred for subjects attempting to remove more than 10 tiles. That is, I wonder what kind of touch we're talking about here. Are we talking about like just a simple or like it's important depending how the touching happens. The remaining 9 subjects drew the time. Oh wait, I already read that. Representation of the eye design present on the 2 wildcard tiles. Attempts to photograph these tiles have been unsuccessful. The recovery log. The bag was brought to the attention of the Foundation researcher on periodically duty. The following letter was published in January issue of 14 times. Supplemental materials 1172-3A 14 times issue, page. Got some 14 times. I know this sounds crazy, but I was at the party at the squad and I know this sounds crazy, but I was at the party at the squad the other night, and after we indulged in quite a lot of recreational substances, one of the hosts led me up to the loft and showed me a dusty pile of board games they found up there. He opened a copy of Scrabble and took out the bag and told me a creepy story about its having been found in Crowley's possession at the time of his death. He then started chanting and told me to take tiles out of the bag, and they said some creepy stuff all true. After I pulled the 3 out, he shouted at me to stop and told me to go back downstairs, and I didn't see him for the rest of the night. Has anyone else ever experienced this kind of thing? Or was it a trick inflated by my drug-addled mind? Fort fan, Derby. Like, how high do you have to be to really think, oh yeah, that definitely did not happen, I just imagined it. Like, how high do you have to be until hallucinations seem legit enough or realistic enough for you to wake up the next day and be like, maybe that's something that could have happened, and then you write it down and you're like, now that I read this again, it just sounds a bit crazy. The researcher located the writer of the letter who divulged the location of the squad agent and were sent to in Derby to collect information of and if possible retrieve the item for examination. The house was deserted but showed signs of recent habitation. On gaining entry to the loft, the Scrabble box was quickly located. In the box, along with the board, bag of tiles, and the rulebook, was a note. Supplemental materials 1172 3D letter found in Scrabblebox. I hope nobody finds this. I sealed the loft hatch shut for a reason. Do not open the bag. Do not use the bag. It's told me so many horrible things. She cries out for me now. Her war cry keeps me awake at night. She is Alala. I am her slave. Don't use the bag. Alala in Greek mythology is the female personification of the high-pitched ululation used as a war cry. Didn't know that was a thing. I love my Greek mythos, but I didn't know that was a thing. That's new to me. This sound is heard to at volumes exceeding 120 decibels, I assume, when tiles are brought more than 54 centimeters from the bag. During this time, the area around the bag is perforated with boreholes around 2 millimeters in diameter, traveling through any material up to a distance of 315 centimeters from the bag at approximately 3.5 bores per second. These bores appear between frames using high-speed video capture and no physical means for producing. Them has been observed. Okay, so they just appear, basically. The ululation and appearance of the boreholes continue to occur until all of the tiles are within 54 centimeters of the bag, at which point the tiles are pulled back into the bag by any means that are on this point unknown. Use of IR cameras have proved inconclusive. What is a weird Scrabble game? Test log. Oh great, now there's something in my left eye that's not supposed to be there. Test log. Experiment A. Test subject D2532. Let us remove to hate them. Okay. You can't say that no more. You can't hate us. D2532 was incarcerated in 1993 for a series of racially motivated murders. Subject was a member of several far-right groups and was a vocal neo-Nazi. The biggest piece of shit, basically. Understandable. Let the Scrabble game scare the shit out of him. Interview log 2. What did the letter spell? Inaudible. Could you repeat that? It's bullshit. You're trying to make me regret it. I don't regret shit. What did it mean? It means I did the right thing. Oh no, it means that you're not explaining, you're not giving us the information we want to hear. And if you give us some more of your sass. Experiment B. Test subject D6634. Let's remove CT eye tile. Oh yeah, okay. God, why am I so tired now? Subject claimed to have no knowledge of any relevance. For all weeks later, the subject has had a grand mal seizure and died. Autopsy revealed a clot on the brain that appeared to have been present by at least 2 years and had not been diagnosed. Doctor suggested that it could have been treated if diagnosed via a CT scan. There we go. Shake, you know, shake the tiredness out of my body. Interview log 2. Doctor, take another tile. What's that? That's not a Scrabble tile. Subject reaches in the bag. What the fuck was that? What the fuck? What do you experience? What did I experience? Something touched my goddamn hand. Felt like a wet fish. Try again. Subject reaches in the bag again. Jesus, it felt something was stroking my fingers. I'm not doing that again. No way. It's the romantic ghost, bro. He's back again. He's like, oh please. I'll play Scrabble with you if that means you stay the night. No way. There's another hand in there. That ain't right. So it is like another hand, probably just caressing it or like grabbing it or something like that. Despite several requests that the test subject refused to touch it back again, experiment curtailed. Where the fuck did I put it? God, I put it here. This is the second time that I'm trying to find my Oh yeah, it's inside here. Yeah. I remember now. That's the wrong one. There we go. Experiment C. The test subject D3155 that is removed also taper. I know it's not supposed to like be read like a word, but kind of like does sometimes. Not known at this time. Experiment D4514, so-called eye tile. It is kind of chilly. Yeah, winter's coming. Subject claimed to have no knowledge of any relevance. 3 days after the testing, D4514 was found in a shower cubicle suffering from severe hypothermia and facial contusion. The subject body temperature was taken as 32.8 degrees centigrade, and the subject expired within a minute of discovery. It appears that a coolant leak in the pipe near the shower area had cooled the water down to near freezing, and the shock of immersion caused D4514 to slip and knock himself out. I mean, to be fair, I would also freak out if I was in the shower. It's nice and warm, and it just suddenly turns freezing cold. I would be like, so I can see how D4514, that's the one, slipped and died. I can see that. I probably would be in the same boat as him. If I was taking a shower and something just did that to me, I would also freak out and maybe trip. And then it appears that the results of testing are highly varied depending on the order of the tiles removed. If the eye tile is removed from the back, then the prior letter appears to have some sort of predictive nature as to the subject's demise. Oh god, it's freezing. If the eye tile is not detected, then the phrases are far more vague. More testing required to more accurately establish the limits of its abilities. Yeah, it's just Scrabble. Like I thought about Scrabble, but I just didn't think it would be Scrabble with a bag. Okay, and yeah, here we go. The Islamic Republic of Eastern Samothrace. So I accidentally clicked on this one some time ago because it was the only thing that was like not highlighted anymore. Not sure when that happened. But now to guess what it could potentially be, the Islamic Republic of Eastern. Well, is Samothrace a real place or not? Because I don't want to say like, oh, that sounds like a fictional place, but then I found out it's actually real, and I said something mean about a place that does exist. But yeah, if Samothrace is not real, then that's basically SCP, right? That there's a whole like, how to call it? Yes, system in the fictional place. It's also pretty highly rated. Euclid. Well, we went from one safe back to Euclid. Knowledge of the existence of the IDAS is to be expunged from all database and sources as earliest convenience. This removal is to include online and print sources. Containment will be considered complete when information regarding SCP-1173 is present in Foundation database only. Active attempts to contain SCP-1173 are suspended at this time. Please consult Addendum 1 for details. 3 D-class personnel infected with SCP-1173 are to be kept at Site-38 for limited testing purposes. Any unauthorized use of the operative phrase for SCP-1173 transmission outside of testing protocols is to result in termination and replacement. Okay, so you can't, whatever, that's a trigger phrase basically, so you have to be careful not to say that around this thing. While the current need to contain SCP-1173 is paramount, under no circumstances are Foundation personnel to directly engage in hostile actions against individuals attempting to spread SCP-1173. Oh, okay. Efforts to contain SCP-1173 should focus on discovering the nature of SCP-1173 and researching methods of eliminating SCP-1173, regardless of whatever actions may be required to accomplish this. However, all Foundation units are to refrain from attacking attacking one another for any reason, including as part of an attempt to contain SCP-1173. Document 173-A is to be deleted at earliest opportunity and all affected personnel treated. But here we have a... Oh god, this is... Wait a minute. It's just the older log from this SCP. Interesting. I swear I'm only getting like this tired when I'm reading SCP stuff. I don't understand. Although reading in general at this time might make me a bit tired. As per protocol, SCP-1173 Omicron, until such a time as the nature of SCP-1173 can be more definitely determined and anti-memetic measures can be carried out, direct conflict between affected personnel and standard Foundation personnel to be avoided. Discussion of SCP-1173 in an unofficial capacity is strictly forbidden to avoid interpersonal conflict among Foundation personnel. SCP-1173 is a memetic phenomenon centered around a delusional belief in political entity known as the Islamic Union of Eastern Samothrace, in the original Greek, or IDAS. Affected individuals will possess varying degrees of understanding or awareness of the history of or culture of the IDAS. But interviews with individuals under the influence of SCP-1173 have isolated several key characteristics that the political entity is commonly described as possessing. Geographically, the IDAS appears to be primary Greek-speaking nation comprising a small mainland enclave on the Anatolian Peninsula and a series of islands to the southeastern agency. As the name would indicate, within the context of the delusion, a significant portion of the population practices Sunni Islam, with a limited number of Shia practitioners and I wonder if that's like a different way to say Shiva. Practitioners a small group of Syriac Orthodox Christians, though the latter group has largely left the country due to religious conflict. Welcome to Fluff, all the people that just joined. Oh god, I need to wake up. Don't have much to drink. Because I feel like if I drink some water, I might stay awake. That's now empty. Shame. Okay, here we go. Individuals can be infected with SCP-1173 only by hearing an operant sentence spoken about in the presence by an infected individual. Through research, the operant sentence has been determined to be, "You hear about that thing down in Samothrace? Did you hear the crazy shit that happened down there?" Oh boy, there's a lot to go through here. Individuals that have heard this sentence frequently express minor interest in the ensuing conversation, which invariably describes some sort of internecine military conflict, massacre, famine, drought, ethnic cleansing, or other atrocity occurring within the country. And the left. Damn it. Uninfected individuals have that Foundation researchers have termed a passive resistance to information regarding the IDAS. Such individuals will consistently and without fail ignore or fail to observe any data or information regarding the nation unless directly ordered to take information on the subject. After becoming infected with SCP-173, individuals will begin noticing references and details to the current status of the IDAS in news and other print sources. Individuals will begin noticing references to older versions of the nation, often referred to as Mahometan Samothrace, in work of classic literature dating back to the 17th century, and will occasionally make casual references to Samothrace in the same vein as Timbuktu or Bangkok, meaning an obscure backwater of little importance. The delusions of the existence of IDAS is not directly harmful to most individuals. However, research into the schizophrenia carried out at the Foundation for unrelated reasons generated a series of connections between SCP-1173 infected and certain previously unexplained psychological abnormalities, specifically a significant number, upwards of 800, of homeless or institutionalized individuals diagnosed with schizophrenia have been found to be infected with SCP-1173. Because they're easy prey right now at this point. Moreover, when interviewed as a part of psychological therapy, many of them described themselves as veterans of an American counterinsurgency from force in the IDAS. Individuals affected in this way frequently describe close encounters with children and pregnant mothers as suicide bombers, futile attacks by poorly armed partisan, ending in massacres and war crimes committed by occupying U.S. troops. Particularly lucid instances of these individuals make vague references to strained geopolitical relations with Russia, which feels threatened by American insertion, and China, which is described as being engaged in a large-scale combat with a heavily armed Uyghur Revolutionary Army inspired by the Samothracian resistance. Oh boy. I feel like my reading game is so off today. After the discovery of SCP-1173, a survey of Foundation personnel revealed extensive SCP-1173 infected at all levels of the chain of command. Attempts to establish and execute containment procedures were complicated due to the efforts by other Foundation units to deliberately infect more individuals with SCP-1173. These conflicts developed into a sporadic armed fight between Foundation units before Protocol 1173 Omicron was put into place. Banning all unofficial communication between personnel regarding SCP-1173 and agreeing to maintain the contemporary equilibrium. Infected and uninfected individuals estimated to have groups of approximately equal size. I can't believe I still have that song. There we go. And then number 2. If you're reading this, the computer has verified you to be uninfected through subtle tests of certain subconscious reactions you have had to keywords placed throughout this document. Congratulations, researcher, you've been drafted. Good God help you. Because he's ain't helping us. He's just chilling in his room. The Omicron protocols was never intended to be permanent. Many of us tried to help our infected comrades, help to cure them, help them see the truth. Those of us that remained uninfected knew the idea of allowing Foundation personnel to remain under the influence of a dangerous mimetic virus. Completely unchecked was madness, but also a civil war between the Foundation unit was even more unthinkable as we compromised. Come on, buddies. Give me that extra push of just being awake while reading this. Potentially another hour and a half. Just gotta flex, right? Just go. There we go. Temporarily. You are now part of the resistance movement, whether you like it or not. Wait. Yeah. History has placed the responsibility on your shoulders. You cannot be told who is on your side and who isn't, and you will never know in most cases. You will not be contacted at any other time regarding this subject, and you will never be able to prove that you received this message in the first place. Well, that's dickish of you. The infected are all around us, every day, friends, loved ones, parents, even children. There is a way to counteract the infection, but it all has its risk. You must procure a compound form Foundation pharmaceutical known as the class or amnestic. If you put in a request for it and sympathetic personnel receive the order, they should deliver. Oh God, man, what is happening today? My eyes don't want to focus. The moment I start reading, they're just kind of yeah. They should deliver more to several. Several hippo sprays to you. However, whenever possible, you are to isolate personnel, engage them in conversation, determine the level of awareness regarding the Islamic Republic of Eastern Samothrace or Samothrace. How you accomplish this is up to you. Determine the infection status and deliver the antidote if necessary. The infected still believe we are keeping to the truth with a concerted effort. We can eliminate the infection from the Foundation. This must be done. We cannot allow the last line in humanity's defense against the anomalous suffered at the hands of an anomaly. Yeah, we got pride in that. Now, if it's just a regular dude with a gun, that's something whole different. He might as well just kill us. This message is approved by 05236881013. This message must be this message not to be kept in official records, not to be copied or replicated. But now we also have these couple stuff here. The original text here, which looks exactly the same, to be honest. Knowledge of existence. The current need to contain is considered a valid one on the notice of Foundation personnel to directly engage in hostile actions against individuals and attempts to spread. SCP-1173 efforts to contain SCP-1173 should focus on discovering the nature of 173 and researching methods of eliminating SCP-1173, regardless of whether actions may be required to accomplish this. However, all Foundation units are to be refrained from attacking another for any reasons, including as part of the attempt to contain SCP-1173. Other than that, it seems like pretty much all the same. Yeah. Other than that, it seems pretty much the same. And this one was you're about to think down in summer threads, which is this one. Wake up, eyes. Here's the thing: my brain is awake, my mouth is awake, but my eyes they're just phasing away. Doesn't help. It really does not help that I'm this tired. I don't be this tired on Sunday. Ugh. This early. How long have we got? Matthew says, his stomach growling. Zeke has been looking at his watch almost constantly for the last 20 minutes. 3 minutes, 10 seconds, 9. Wait, 3 minutes, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. A pause, 5 seconds. Which way did you say it is? Matthew asks. How many times have you asked that? Don't too many, I think. Zeke shuffled and looked at the backpack beside him. Fuck, I don't want to carry this thing any further. He thought Foundation Tech has gotten to a sci-fi level up towards. Wait, Foundation Tech had gotten to a sci-fi level towards the end, but the seriousness of the crisis grew. The R&D boys just quit trying to miniaturize this thing. They probably figured would be carried on truck. Well, that was a great thought back when we had gas. How much further? 2 miles. And we're about Matthew. 3 hours before the window closes. We gotta get up, dude. Oh shit, really? Zach said I was going to suggest a quickie while I was flat on my back. You make this sound all urgent and shit. You aren't boy from material, Zeke, Matthew said, straight-faced. Get the fuck up, let's go save the world. You weren't so grumpy back in Atlanta, Zeke replied. It's the end of the world and I'm indiscriminate. Sue me. I told you it wasn't something serious. You want to wax nostalgic about a hookup until the window closes, or you want to pick up the backpack already? Zeke was already standing. Come on, let's do this. Let's do a thing. Oof, this is definitely a read. maybe if I sit differently. Maybe if I sit like. Wait, hold on. Like this. Just for now, let's see if this does do anything different for me. How many times do you reckon we've done this by now? Matthew asked. Do you remember any apocalypse that slipped my mind? Zeke replied. This seems pretty fucking fresh to me. You know what I mean? What the Overwatch fucker said during the briefing. You bought that shit? Parallel universes, other versions of Ezekiel Washington and Matthew Clore, wandering the countryside, getting into a sexual confusion and escapades and making a last stance against the end of the world. Do you think there are really millions of us? I mean, I try not to think too hard about there being more than one of you in the first place, but yeah. I have no reason to think they were going to make this up. It's already stupid enough. Zeke tried to shrug wins with the efforts makes a dumb kind of sense to me. Getting one of these random machines to the exact right coordinates, turn them all on magic away, then dying of the light. It's no stupider than half the other shit they apparently did that made this happen. This is not comfortable at all. Well, back to. There we go. Where are my slippers at, by the way? That would probably help a little bit because my feet are definitely freezing. There must be somewhere downstairs, I guess. Yeah, it's just. I think the fact that it's so cold in here is definitely causing a bit of a problem for me to be awake because cold temperature makes me sleepy. When I'm just sitting on occasion. Matthew kept walking for a minute in silence. You think we're gonna see our families again? Zeke shook his head. Fuck if I know. I hope so. They said there was a chance that when we undid this, we were back into a world where it never happened. I figured it'd probably be one of those paradox things where there's just one ideal world and we won't be in it. Well, we have made it possible, us and all the others. I guess that's worth something. And knowing that some Libby's gonna see her daddy again somewhere. She would have had tears rolling down his face if he had been properly hydrated. The walk was phenomenally boring without conversation. Just mile after mile, flat Tennessee countryside, the occasional hill, empty houses, empty towns, cannibalized rat piles. Lots of tattered American flags still in poles from the owners. Never thought to take them down before dying. Disrespectful, Matthew thought. God damn, how much of this state rat out, Matthew said. I figured we'd be able to be well into a spy account by now. Nah, the proletariat never got out of Arkansas heading this direction, Zeke said. I think the chairman crossed a 50th something or other. Oh God. Or other made a blood enemy out of the country and Memphis congregation at the same time. Not easy to get rednecks to agree with something happening in Memphis. Memphis can goddamn well assure you of that. Oh shit, yeah, you were from around here, Memphis said. I hate that. I bet you at the last 3 SCPs I'm like wide awake and I'm like, oh my god, yes. Right now I'm just goddamn tired. Just so tired. Paducah, sure, it's across the border north of here. I mean, Zeke's spot, it was north of here before the Franklin War. I'll pretend like I remember what that was. Matthew said, I was busy with the Balrock, remember? I still think that sounds like horse shit. Zeke said, you were from Philly, weren't you? Not that close to Centralia, DC. You're fucking Peach, you know that, Matthew said, too exhausted to be disgusted. You get that he got hungry after picking off all the Amish, right? Trust me, Philly was definitely a fucking disaster zone. It's probably as far as the rest of the eastern seaboard by now. A few moments in silence. Not that you give a shit, Zeke said, but at least motherfuckers got along after they got in my town. What, the Franklinites? Matthew said they're not around anymore. Nah, poor old suck. The whole state up, dropped them off in fucking Greece somewhere. Samus, Thrassia is one of those dumbass islands where the whole state of Franklin got dropped on top of some third world country that there. Matthew said, are you seriously that inbred? You didn't hear about that thing down in Samothrace? Oh, here we go. Samothrace has been mentioned. Man, I didn't give a fuck what happened down in some Trace or who the fuck knows what. All I know is, judging from the way they got to die, they apparently got lumped with the rest of the Middle East somehow. I'm gonna get my my lemonade. Maybe that will help me stay awake a little bit. God damn. This is getting ridiculous. Okay. Ooh, oh. All I know is, just from the way they got to die, they apparently got lumped in with the rest of the Middle East somehow. Oh shit, Matthew said. The Devourer? Fucking A. A Devourer that couldn't have happened to nicer people. More science, the location grew closer. They were now on Evergreen Street looking for Park. It wasn't hard to find a small device on Zeke's waistband, which had been chattering quietly ever since that they entered the Dresden city limits, starting going off a little bit more frequently. How many fucking skips were in this shithole town? Matthew asked. Enough to make this shit work, apparently, Zeke said. Matthew nodded. Overwatch has been very specific on the location of the Scranton anchor, and it wasn't a geographic coincidence. Apparently, the anomalous concentration in this town centered on Wilson Park, which, judging from the presence of playground equipment, was right in front of them. Activate this one in the right spot, which Overwatch had assured them would be easy enough to find once they were there, and something portal to something realign the dimensional something, and everybody gets cake and gets to go home. Matthew liked ragging on Zeke for being a dipshit, but it wasn't like he understood this any better than Zeke did. He had been a god before all this started. Zeke had stacked boxes for 6 years, but research was specific. That Sank guy in particular has to be these two, he said. It's always these two. Zeke was trying to stay stoic, but the weight of the backpack was really starting to get to him. Here, swap out with me, Matthew said. Zeke didn't even feign protest, gingerly slipping the straps off and passing it to Matthew, who traded him his own backpack with more incidentals like food and equipment. They were near the final hill. Peeking the hill, Matthew and Zeke saw two lights that were somewhat unusual, even for his last day of the bizarre closing act of human history. Hovering in the air next to the swing set about 20 meters off the ground was what was unmistakably a spiky purple rubber ball. Directly underneath the ball was a teenage boy poking out what appeared to be a small kindle fire. Matthew hadn't seen one of these in years, at least not one of the Syrian's kind. They approached the sitting form. Standing less than a meter away, Zeke cleared his throat. Shh. The teenager said, "Shut the fuck up for a minute. Don't say shit to me right now, dude. I'm about to get this shit." Filthy, smelling like God knows what, tired of death, Zeke and Matthew both sat down in front of the teenage boy as he poked at the tablet. Zeke looked at his watch and mouth to Matthew. 45 minutes, he said. Matthew looked at the tablet. The kid was poking at something on the left side of the screen. What was he playing? Then dropping that thing off in the middle of the screen, where it started shooting a little forms marching from right to the side of the screen. The people on the right side of the screen were gaining ground slowly and judging from the little sound effects, eating their way through the things the kid was dropping off. But the thing kept shooting, and the stream of forms coming in from the right slowed down. Then the kid hit one thing on the left and dropped it around the forms of the right, and they seemed to blow up into dust. A trophy emerged on the screen. The kid tapped on it, and the screen went wide. "Fuck yes!" The teenagers yelled to the heavens. "What?" It flipped the cover back into the tablet, pushed the power button, and set it off to the side. Sorry, I finally beat that thing. He said, "Been playing it for most of the time I've been sitting here. You guys are slow as shit." He was too grateful to be sitting down to be pissed. "Well, how long have you been sitting here?" I quit counting after the third year or so, and I'm pretty sure they canceled time last month anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Matthew, so are you a spirit guy or something? Something like that, I guess, the teenager said. "I'm Tyler. I lived in this town for years. I ascended to a higher plane of consciousness thanks to some aliens who blew up part of the elementary school. Then I got spit back when they gave up on the universe. That was 2017 or so, I think. Anything that happened around the time that scared them off? COVID." Well, not in 2017, but if you waited 3 years later. So you look at Matthew. "Yes, sort of. You know how dangerous people are kept in prisons?" "Kind of." Tyler said, I think I remember hearing about those when I was human the last time." "Why, did something break out?" "Kind of." Matthew said, "Everything broke out. A couple things at first, and some attacks from some other groups, then a war, then something more, then some more things, then some more attacks, and another war, then everything blew up. Most of the species is dead, but we're going to fix it, we think. I don't know. I think you're involved somehow." "Oh yeah," Tyler said. Shi Yang told me all about it. Of course. Of fucking course he did. Zeke muttered. There's a spot right here. Tyler said. Set up the Scranton anchor, pointed it right at the house. He pointed at the house across the street and fired up. It will connect with the others within the hour. Dude, we don't have that kind of time. The window's going to close. There is no window, Tyler said, cutting off Zeke. She just told you that there was to motivate you to move faster. Not everything he said is strictly true, so to speak. He's very liberal with what he says to get what he wants. That's comforting, Matthew said. Hey, who gives a shit, Tyler said. What are you gonna do? Leave the world like it is? May as well do what has to be done already. He shrugged, Matthew shrugged, Tyler shrugged, the three of them began assembling the Scranton anchor. Well, what an absolute dream team, huh? The charisma is flying off from each and every one of them. Zeke punched in a 4-digit code in the keypad, in the pound key. Matthew punched in another hit in the star key. Green lights were, I'm not sure if it's the lemonade helping me out or if just moving up and down and helped me out a little bit, but I'm a bit more awake now. Did we just fucking do it, Zeke asked. I think we just fucking did it, man, Matthew said, looking at Zeke. Oh shit, Zeke said, taking a grab. Matthew around the shoulder and kissed him. The two made muffled sounds for a few seconds. That's sweet as hell, Tyler said. That's a good way to go out. The kissing slowed and stopped, separated. Both men looked at Tyler. What the fuck do you mean, go out? Zeke said, it just means like before the thing resets or whatever, when we go back to our regular universes, before the big reset, when we go out and go back to like it was before, right? Matthew said, looking at Tyler, his heart sinking. Tyler continued to look at the two men, lips pursed, and he burst out laughing. Oh shit, yeah, really fucked you two, huh? Is that what they told you this was about? Oh god, what kind of dark twist do we have now? The Scranton anchor began rattling, then smoke came out of it. A high-pitched whirring sound grew louder still, then all the lights on the Scranton anchor died. The central ball opened and retracted nothing. Nothing seemed different. So he looked at the anchor, walked around the other side. What the fuck is an otherworldly screech and a dull, multicolored blast screamed out of the middle of the Scranton anchor right at Zeke's chest. It started out narrow like a fire hose stream, but then it widened into 3 meters wide suddenly and blew Zeke down the hill into the road. Zeke was slammed into the asphalt, Matthew seeing his back and the back of his head flattened out against the black street. Matthew saw the blood spurting out of the back of Zeke's head before the stream covered him up completely. Matthew turned to Tyler. What the fuck is this? He said. What? Tyler yelled over the roaring. What? Tyler yelled over the roaring sound of the stream. What the fuck is this? Matthew repeated louder. It's the fucking end, dude. What? Peace out, bro. I thought we were fixing this, Matthew yelled. There is no fix, dumbass, Tyler replied. The damage is too deep now. There isn't always a way to save things. You gotta just pick out you gotta just pick how you go out. Planetary euthanasia. Overwatch picked this one. Oh, of course they did. Matthew turned back to the stream. A dull color was spreading out across the ground. Matthew noticed some movement from the landing spot. The stream was alive, made up of something that was crawling away from the point of impact. The living thing were bouncing off one another and plopping into the grassy ditch on the other side, crawling over one another. All of the creatures were meandering up the hill. Matthew saw more clearly once they got closer. What the kittens? Yeah, kittens, Tyler said. The roar continued. Whole universe full of nothing but kittens. Immortal, self-sustaining kittens. We're gonna drown in them. They don't eat, they don't need to feed, they don't do anything but meow. Even in complete vacuum. They just meow and crawl over one another. Enough kittens to immobilize a perpetually healing dragon. Enough kittens to put out a evil star. Enough kittens to choke the devourer of the worlds in firm purring. We die, they either die or spend eternity in feline hell. I guess it's revenge. Matthew just stared at the stream, widened more. How much bigger is this gonna get? Tyler shrugged. Everywhere you put out Scranton anchors, they're all doing the exact same thing. All the whips are gonna link together from one another. A 3,000 mile wide epicity episiotomy straight to the kittenverse. Young even had the formula for the, or what the fuck did they call it? Faraday gradient. The planet be kittens all the way up and down from Ciudad de Marianas clear to the language points in less than a day, and then the kittens keep going out in space, out of the solar system, out of the old bakery. I hope the furry fuckers like cake. Matthew had no capacity for surprise more. When will the link up? I told you to do less than an hour. I give it probably half that, judging from the stream. Matthew sat half sad, half collapsed to the ground. I sat beside him. She told us we were special, told us we always did this in all the other universes. It was also us two that went out to stop the apocalypse. We also saved the world. Xiang may have been full of shit, or he may have just phrased things differently than you remember. Tyler said, I saw some things in other universes when I was something other than human. I saw you guys do your thing. He wasn't completely off. Whenever the world was ending, you guys were always there. But I'm not pretty sure it's always ended this way. One of you dead, the other one watching. It's not a happy story. Oh, that's sad, yeah. A kitten strolled up the hill towards Matthew's feet. He thought about stomping the little white fuzzball, then thought better, not like it's his fault, Matthew thought, rubbing his head. I think I should name it, Matthew said suddenly. Please don't name it Zeke, Tyler said immediately. Don't make me my last action be punching you in the balls, which is what I think Zeke would want me to do. You didn't know him, Matthew said. I did not, I admitted. Either way, something more creative than that. Matthew turned to his backpack, rustled up a black Sharpie marker, then the stream of kittens flowing into the street widened a little further, began to buckle. Only a couple minutes left, Matthew thought. He grabbed the kittens and carefully wrote something on its forehead and chucked the kitten into the growing pile down the hill. Tyler looked, he made a decision. Matthew nodded, I named it Centralia Bound. I hope the bulwark chokes on him first. They sat in silence until the world whirled and went black. God damn, that was a different side story than I expected it to be, and that took me a while to read through. Okay. The wreck of excuse me, hold on. Never forget. The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Also, can I just check? Here it says 1 hour. So yeah, it's like yeah, 10 seconds. Okay, around that. I back of the Edmund Fitzgerald. When it comes to like specific names, I usually just don't try to guess what it could be. Euclid. The foundation is to liaise with the National Weather Service during -1's active season each year and monitor the development of meteorological phenomena which may contribute to onset of -1 events. Whenever weather conditions favorable to -1 exists, Foundation personnel embedded within the United States Coast Guard and Canadian Coast Guard are to assist in monitoring radio communication from civilian vessels in the active region for any reports of -1 sightings. Civilians spotting -1 are to be instructed not to attempt to approach, communicate with, or render assistance to any instance of -1. The existence of -1 till -3 is attested to in ghost stories circulated by the general public. Foundation media assets are to limit public dissemination of sightings of -1 instances. Subsequent to civilians. Wait a minute. So Edmund Fitzgerald, is that who wrote ghost stories? Okay. Is that the one with like the no, wait, which one is it? You know which one I mean? Like, oh god. Oh, yeah, it's scary stories to tell in the dark, right? Scary stories to tell in the dark. That's the one. God, that is a scary image. Kinda wanna listen to it though. Scary stories to listen to Alvin Schwartz, so okay. Instances subsequent to civilian signs of any -1 instance of the Foundation is to intercept the vessel, making the signs upon its docking, debrief its crew, and issue Class A amnestics. At O5 discretion, Foundation vessels or U.S. Canadian Coast Guard vessels operated by the Foundation crew may approach and follow instances of -1 for observation purposes. No vessel is to approach within 100 meters of any instance of -1. Following any shipwreck under conditions resembling an N-1 incident, the Foundation is to locate the wreckage as soon as possible and retrieve any instance of -2 found in the vicinity for containment or termination as necessary. All available information about the wrecked vessel is to be cataloged for use in identifying potential new instances of -1. The Foundation is to monitor emergency calls and social and working for any indication of civilian encounters with -1. Any person reporting on N-2, any person reporting N-2 sighting is to be detained, debriefed, and treated with Class B amnestics. Any dead -2 instances found afloat or washing ashore are to be acquired by the Foundation and destroyed as soon as possible. Authorization is granted to employ emergency procedures 258 October Bravo in the case of an information leak regarding -2. Captured instances of -2 are to be housed in modified containment cells filled halfway with fresh water at the temperature of -2 and fed standards contain rations twice per day. Instances of -2 capable of communication may be granted euthanasia as a request following a full debriefing. Oh god. I knew it. Okay. SCP-1174 is a localized phenomenon occurring within Lake Superior. Lake Superior, along the border between the United States and Canada, consisting of visual hallucinations of ships appearing during periods of inclement weather, designated -1, and an unknown number of anomalous human beings associated with ships sinking after encountering -1, designated -2. Instances of -1 are capable of manifesting between October 1st and November 30th, so 2 months of each year. Most manifestation of -1, by the way, is this not Euclid? Yes. Have occurred during November witch cyclone conditions, producing rain or snow and wind in excess of 95 kilometers per hour. However, -1 can manifest at any time during the active season when cloud cover and high winds are present. Instances of -1 are capable of movements at rates commensurate to that of the ship it resembles, and will appear and travel in no discernible heading along Lake Superior until such time as weather conditions improve, whereupon -1 will vanish. In no case has any instance of -1 appeared in or traveled to any area less than approximately 5 kilometers from the American or Canadian mainland. There are currently 7 known instances of -1. 5 of these 7 have been conclusively identified as resembling vessels known to have sunk in Lake Superior during -1's active seasons. So we have -1, a full-rigged wooden warship of late 18th century construction, approximately 45 meters in length, flying the naval ensign of the United Kingdom, identity unknown. -2, a wooden schooner of mid-19th century construction, approximately 60 meters in length, identified as Lucerne, or an ore carrier, sank in 1886. 1-3, a wooden steamship of late 19th century construction, approximately 75 meters in length, identified as Bannockburn, a freighter sunk in 1902. 1-4, a steel-hulled, steam-powered warship of the early 20th century construction, approximately 40 meters in length, and identified as Cerisoles, a French Navy minesweeper lost under unknown circumstances in 1918. 1-5, a steel-hulled steamship of early 20th century construction, approximately 75 meters in length, identity unknown. 1-6, a steel-hulled oil burning cargo ship of mid-20th century construction, approximately 220 meters in length, identified as Edmund Fitzgerald, a freighter sunk in 1975. 7, a steel-hulled diesel engine patrol boat of early 21st century construction, approximately 27 meters in length, identified as SCPS Irwin, a Foundation vessel sunk while investigating 1-6 in 2007. Even your own vessel will be sunk with us. Testing has indicated that all instances of -1 or visual hallucinations do not exist as corporeal entities. -1 vessels do not appear on radar or infrared imaging, and attempts to fire upon them have resulted in armament passing through the vessel without causing damage. Upon coming into visual range of any vessel while traveling through Lake Superior, -1 will attempt to establish communication by means appropriate to the period of and capabilities of the vessel appearing, including use of flags, signal lights, Morse code, flying of flares, and radio in all cases where contact is made. -1 will claim to be in immediate danger of sinking and will request the vessel approach immediately to assist in evacuation its crew. In radio communication, the voice transmitted from -1 is always an adult male who identifies himself as a senior officer of the vessel requiring aid. Conclusive identification of the speakers with individual known to have been aboard the vessels at time of sinking has not been made to date. Any vessel approaching within approximately 75 meters of a -1 vessel will suffer immediate and massive damage to the hull, resulting in the vessel sinking within minutes of approach. We had a different SCP in the 400s that was about ghost vessels, ghost ships. Forensic analysis of recovered wrecks is inconsistent, indicating damage consistent with collision, weapon firing, attack from aquatic megafauna, and rust. In one instance, a vessel approaching -1-2 appears to have spontaneously capsized without suffering any other damage to its hull. -1-6 and -1-7 are known to have sunk as a result of the -1 contact. As a result of -1 contact, it's unknown whether there are other instances of -1 sunk to the contact as well as, or what form -1 phenomena may have taken prior to the appearance of -1. -2 are human beings present aboard vessels sunk as a result of contact with -1. -2 individuals, rather than dying as a result of drowning of hypothermia, remain alive and conscious after submerging and are capable of continuing to live for an undetermined period of time in the lower elevation of Lake Superior. Aside from tissue necrosis as the result of long-term exposure to water, -2 specimens display no unusual health problems as long as they remain submerged at a temperature of 1 degree. Is that supposed to be 1 degree till 5 degrees Celsius, or is it 1 degree minus 5 degrees Celsius? I think it's supposed to be like between 1 till 5 degrees Celsius, and continue to show signs of age at a normal rate. -2 individuals removed from the water or placed into a warmer environment will display symptoms of shock and or heat stroke and typically die within 1 hour if not returned to cold water. Dash 2 individuals in the wild often subsist on fish and aquatic flora, while some have been noted to attack divers or each other. This behavior appears to be rare and discouraged by the community. Dash 2 individuals typically live in communities at or near the site of the shipwreck and continue to possess full recollection of their lives prior to sinking. Most Dash 2 individuals, unless suffering vocal cord damage as a result of the environment, retain the ability to speak and are capable of understanding each other while submerged. In interviews captured, Dash 2 specimens have denied any explanation or knowledge of why or how they exist in their current state. There does not appear to be any upper limit of the length on time on Dash and Time and Dash 2 individual can remain alive in the absence of disease or natural hazards. The oldest known individuals in captivity is the former crewman of the vessel DNC, currently 87 years of age, who became an instance of Dash 2 upon that vessel sinking in 1957. The Foundation began a formal study and containment of SCP-1174 in 1975 after investigating several claimed sightings of the Edmund Fitzgerald following its sinking in early November. Several former crew members of the vessels were discovered living in its wreck upon the first formal exploration thereof in May of the following year and were taken into Foundation custody. Foundation folklorists have since connected ghost ship legends regarding to Bannockburn to sightings of Dash 1 to 3 and found reference in Ojibwa folklore to a witch of Kikagumi, which lures fishermen to their doom. Bovine icon and God damn it. Can we just have like something like a romantic ghost title again, so I can at least attempt to guess what this could mean? Because I don't know what bovine is or who it is and so on. Also, I have to say it again. No, it's fine. Yeah. You could again. Due both to its current immobility and public appearance, SCP-1175 can only be contained in a limited fashion on site. A mobile observation outpost designated -1 is to be maintained at the edge of effects, changing location at least once within each 24-hour period. Research into more permanent containment procedures is ongoing until they can be instituted. The site's public function is to remain active with modified hours of 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time, Wednesday through Monday, with on-site Foundation agents dressed as a civilian private security to ensure all unauthorized individuals are removed from the premises before dusk. SCP-11... Emotional... That's not what I meant to press. SCP-1175 is the essential display of the... I was like, oh, let me just go really quickly back to the buttons I need, and I accidentally clicked on that one. Park, an open-air artistic installation located in Redacted, and covering a fenced-in area of approximately 0.25 kilometers square. The anomalous properties of the affected objects are only active between sunset and sunrise. For reasons unknown, there is a 75% chance that the objects will become active at random intervals on Tuesdays, and thus the park is to remain closed on this day. -1 is a representation of a bull's head. Okay, here we go. 28 meters tall, made of welded cast iron plates and painted red. It's made out of cast iron plates? Oh shit, that bull's gonna hit hard. Upon initial creation, -1 was hollow. but current observation indicates the presence of machinery or some other form of activity within the structure. Specifically, attempts at radar and sonographic imagery have given inconclusive results, alternately showing the structure to be solid metal or to have a lack of any physical material whatsoever, including the shell. Since the appearance of SCP-1175's anomalous features, -1 itself has become completely immobile, seen in report -2 with subterranean imagery showing pillars extending at a rate of approximately 0.6 meters per year. The purpose of these pillars is not currently known, though they have currently reached length of meters, indicating an initial growth period of advanced speed. -2 is a group of designation of a series of 6 statues, each 2.59 meters tall, constructed of various metals in the shape of human skeletons with a goat skull. Each statue carries a weapon, one carrying a staff on a glaive, two with short swords, and 2 with modified sickles. These statues become mobile during active periods, acting in a fashion similar to gods for -1. They are not outwardly hostile to humans, though one or more will often remain in close proximity to any intruder to whom they have not been introduced. See Addendum 1. -2 will only become hostile in 2 situations. The first being if a non-introduced individual attempts to make contact with -1, or if any individual attempts to damage it, or if any individual attempts to remove -2 or another installation from the park. At this point, whether or not they are in a currently active state, all instances of -2 will immediately emit sounds described as screaming or screeching and attack that person and either kill them outright or chase them to the edge of the affected area. If the targeted person or persons are killed, their remains are brought to -1, at which point a hinged portion of its mouth will open. No such features was present in its initial construction, and the remains are placed inside before it closes. It's currently not known whether what occurs after this is as remote video and audio equipment lose all contact once its mouth closes. Alternatively, if any structure of human construction is erected within a 0.9 kilometer radius of -1 and remains standing for longer than 24 hours, upon activation, all instances of -2 except for one will again emit the screeching noises and run to the construction at speeds of 75 kilometers per hour. That is not all unnerving. Just in the distance, you hear this like screech, and suddenly this creature just runs at you at the speed of a car. Upon reaching a new structure, it will proceed to attack it with provided weapons as well as fists. And it's a bull. Yeah, imagine a bull just like, and it's just like, and the horns until the structure is completely demolished. Similar, attacking any humans who attempt to interfere. This reaction does not appear to be triggered by repairs, modification, or extensions to structure which existed within the area of effect. At the time of its appearance, this consists of the park itself, including its outer fence and office, gift shop, approximately 0.2 kilometers of state highway, redacted, that intersects the area, and one abandoned shack since damaged beyond repair during a blizzard later destroyed without incident. -2 have shown signs of individual intelligence and appear to be able to communicate to each other using a lower decibel levels of noise. Of noises similar to the attack calls. No variances of patterns have emerged, and attempts to initiate communication have thus far proven ineffective. -2 also appear to ignore non-human life, even in instances where birds or rodents have been observed directly facing the structure within the park during active periods. Superficial and structural damage to -1 will repair itself through unknown means. SCP-1175 was first brought to Foundation attention on when 3 local youths broke into the park at night and interacted with -2 during its active state. Foundation agents were made aware of the situation when local authorities had assumed the suspects to be under the influence of hallucinogenic substances due to a well-publicized raid on narcotics suppliers in the neighboring town of Redacted. After application of Class B amnestics, the suspects were given suggestive memories that they must have consumed food that was tainted with the narcotics. Extensive question of the owner of the park and creator of all pieces of art therein has revealed that he was not responsible for the anomalous activity and is not aware of how they began. However, he was aware of the existence for approximately 1 month before the above incident, but never reported them to authorities or family members out of fear. It has also become apparent that -2 reported them to authorities or family members out of fear. It has become apparent that -2 somehow recognized Mr. P as the creator or as an authority in some other fashion. They obey requests and commands from him to an extent, and if they introduce an individual as a friend, -2 will ignore the individual from that point on, including allowing them to directly touch -1. Oh, you're allowed to touch it. As the ability to introduce others has not been successfully passed on to other individuals, P has been designated as -3, but retained as director of the park to maintain public appearance and to facilitate Foundation activities. He's kept under constant surveillance, but has thus far not attempted to impede Foundation agents in any way, and has proven himself willing to offer any support or information he is able. Addendum 2, Incident Report 2 on Foundation personnel attempts to remove -1 from the park despite having been assembled off-site and transported to its current location. All attempts to move the structure failed, culminating in the destruction of a crane regulated to lift up to approximately 20 times the weight of that SCP-175-1 weighed at the time of installation. Attempts to excavate the ground beneath -1 or remove other structures from the park were repeatedly interrupted by -2, though not to the level of hostility if the anomalous pieces are attacked directly. It has been decided that until more stringent protocols are able to be enacted, all materials is to remain on site with additional Foundation agents for security. A normal raise in park admissions fees has been added to compensate for the expenditures. The last 3 ones were all pretty weird so far. Okay, here we go. Mellified man. What does mellified mean? Mellified is a very obsolete term of production of honey or the process of honeying something. Oh. So wait, hold on. The making of production of honey. Or male honey. The ancient Greek word Melissa. Well, Melissa means bee honey. Okay, something related with honey then. Maybe he's like doused in honey. Now, man, there's a lot of Euclid in this one, huh? This is powering me through. SCP-1176 is to be kept within the sarcophagus. It was recovered fully submerged in -1 in the secure climate controlled observation room at Site 73. SCP-1176 is not to be removed from -1 for any period of time longer than is necessary to conduct essential research or replace monitoring equipment, in no case exceeding 6 hours. SCP-1176 is to be monitored by EG at all times when not fully submerged in -1 for any sudden changes in brain activity. Any unexpected changes in -1 production ought to be noted. Excess -1 is to be drained from the sarcophagus using the attached faucet once per day or as necessary to prevent overflow, or is to be destroyed or sent for testing immediately. -1 is to be transported and stored in vessels clearly indicating that it's not food product and is inedible. -1 is to be consumed by any incompatible person except for testing purposes. All requests to issue -1 as an emergency field rations are preemptively denied, regardless of individual compatibility, pending a full ethics committee review. SCP-1176 is the mummified corpse of a human male, presumed to have been approximately 35 years of age at the time of death. Severe tissue degradation has made DNA examinations of SCP-1176 impossible. Based on contextual evidence, SCP-1176 is assumed to have been of Arabian ancestry and to have died in the 10th to 11th century AD. SCP-1176 is clinically dead and does not display any individuals of respiration, circulation, or metabolism. SCP-1176 brains, which is largely intact in spite of general tissue degradation, exhibits a constant level of electrical activity consistent with stage 3 non-rapid eye movement, deep sleep. In the place In the place of bodily fluids that would be found in the living human beings, SCP-1176 contains a fluid of viscous consistency and golden color. He pisses honey. Designated -1 doesn't mean he pisses. He could just be he sweats or he bleeds. Testing of -1 has been found to be chemically identical to clover honey produced by the Anatolian honeybee. So basically, if you drain the blood, he will spout honey. Is it edible though? I highly doubt it. I doubt it's also smart to do. Oh yeah, this is an SCP. It spouted something. Let me eat it. -1 is exuded from SCP-1176 pores at a variable rate depending on environmental conditions. When kept fully or mostly submerged, as it typically is when stored within its sarcophagus, rate of -1 production is approximately 7.2 liters per hour. So 200 milliliters, right? When it is not submerged, production increases exponentially over time. See incident -1 log. The quantity of -1 contained within SCP-1176 itself has not been documented to increase or decrease at any time, regardless of the rate of production. -1 has been determined to be edible by human beings possessing an AB+ blood type and possesses properties consistent with highly concentrated nutritional supplements. A dose of -1, 15 milliliters in volume, contains approximately 250 calories. Kilocalories? Is that supposed to be kilocalories? And significant quantities of essential vitamins and nutrients, making it highly effective as an emergency ration or stable foodstuff. It's a senzu bean. Tests conducted on D-class personnel indicate that -1 consumption by compatible persons is effective in preventing physical sensation of hunger for 14 to 18 hours after consumption and bears no long-term side effects. Person of non-AP+ blood type, upon consuming any amount of -1 greater than 0.5 milliliter, begin exhibiting symptoms of severe allergic reactions within 4 to 10 hours of consumption. Acute hemolysis followed by renal failure and death has occurred in 98.7% of all the tests where an incompatible person was fed -1. Symptoms of -1 consumption among incompatible test subjects are consistent with symptoms of persons given blood transfusion of a type incompatible with their body chemistry. At the time of its recovery, SCP-1176 was stored within a stone sarcophagus of late Hellenistic style. The The lid, sides, and interior of the sarcophagus are inscribed with text and... Wait a minute. I'm wondering something. Yep, it's not there. I fucking knew it. That makes me a bit sad. Okay. Yeah, horse, the person. The lid, sides, and interior of the sarcophagus is inscribed with text like Egyptian hieroglyphics, largely consisting of ceremonial texts and spells regarding the protection of the person entombed within, and hagiographic description of various gods and extinct and thus far translated dialect of Proto-Arabic in a large section at the foot of the coffin. The original inscriptions have been obliterated and replaced with two separate inscriptions in classical Arabic. See addendum for translation. A hole has been drilled into the sarcophagus near one end, in which copper pipe and a spigot has been fitted. It is hypothesized that the spigot was installed within the last 100 years by a person previously in possession of SCP-176 for the purpose of facilitating the removal of -1 from sarcophagus. The sarcophagus itself possessed no anomalous properties. SCP-176 was acquired by the Foundation in 1985 following a raid on a facility in Asmara, Eritrea, then Ethiopia, owned by the Mana Charitable Foundation. Foundation assets in the region had identified the facility as the source of shipments of honey which had been widely distributed to famine-stricken regions of Ethiopia, resulting in the deaths of approximately civilians from symptoms regarding acute hemolysis. How the MCF came into possession of SCP-176 has not been determined to date. Show the text of a web inscription on SCP-176 sarcophagus and show incident log. Okay. Text of the first inscription. Oh god, please. I hope the next three are short because I am not feeling it today. I gotta be honest. Today is a rough. Although Sunday is always a rough one. Saturday is always like the decent one. Sunday is like the one where I'm like just like. Text of the first inscription. Abdullah ibn Salah ibn Ayub ibn Nasir, 15th son of the great Sheikh illegible, was put to the fast of honey on the 1st of Rajab in the year of the Hijra 3 between 1922 and 1022 AD in the Gregorian calendar, and died on the 15th of Ramadan. The great Imam al-Yusuf has sealed him within the ancient vessel marked with the signs decreed by the ancients to ferment in honey for 100 years and bring all aid to the people in time of need. Well, he kind of does, except that he's not helping the ones with the wrong blood type. Text of second inscription. Beware, Imam, for the mark of Iblis is upon this one. I finally found him. The Iblis trigger. In the year of the Hijra 573, 1995 AD in the Gregorian calendar, the Imam al-Malik ordered his vessel opened, thereby to feed the people during time of the great famine. Many jars were filled and delivered to the sheikh and his court. To the great imams of the mosques and to the people. And the following day, a great many people fell ill with a terrible fever, and none of them lived. But the sheikh and his brothers and his sons who ate heartily of the cursed nectar were all of them unharmed. Those who lived declared the sheikh and his family guilty of the sorcery of illegible. But when the people came out to destroy the body taken from the vessel, they found it standing upright and dancing about, screaming and mocking them. Al-Malik has decreed that a full gene has been sent by the Shaitan himself to corrupt this instrument of healing, and has decreed that it be sealed within this vessel until the last day. When a god strikes down any who break these seals, and now instant lock. On 2000, an experiment was conducted to determine the upward limits of the rate at which SCP-1 can be produced. SCP-176 was removed from its sarcophagus and placed upon a graded surface designated of drain all -1 produced away rather than allowing it to accumulate. After increasing to a rate of 1.2 liters per hour after the first hour, the rate at which production accelerated continued to increase by approximately 1 liter per hour, reaching a production of approximately 55.7 liters per hour. After approximately 10.5 hours, a sudden spike in brain activity was detected and SCP-176 became conscious. SCP-176 opened its eyelids and began flailing wildly in an attempt to engage in distress vocalization and attempt to crawl towards one of the walls of the test chamber. That must be freaky for both sides. Because imagine it just opens his eye up out of the sudden and just starts flailing around. And imagine being him, just opening your eyes and you're in this place that you have no idea where things are, why things are, and where to go, what to do. Due to the atrophied state of its internal organs and musculature, it is speculated that SCP-1176 was unable to see or derive any meaningful sensory data from its environment during this period and was unable to speak coherently due to the degradation of its tongue and palate. As the staff were concerned that SCP-1176 movement would damage itself, for junior researcher personnel were instructed to manually restrain SCP-1176 and sedated. During the attempts, SCP-176 jerked its left arm violently, resulting in its hand being severed at the wrist. After attempts to sedate SCP-176 using gas and intramuscular injections were unsuccessful, research personnel were instructed to return SCP-176 to its sarcophagus and set the lid in place. SCP-176 was heard continuing to vocalize and distract the interior of the sarcophagus with its limbs and head for approximately 3 hours, after which time it ceased its activity and returned to its previous state. Subsequent examination has detected multiple bone fractures induced during SCP-176 period of activity, as well as several previously unknown fractures speculated to have been caused by an earlier such state. SCP-176 severed hand has continued to exude -1 at a rate commensurate within the rest of specimens and currently being contained separately for further research. I am so tired, man, like. Okay. The coupon cutter. Okay. What if the coupon is something like where it says like, oh, you get 50% off, and then it's like this cutter that just cuts everything exactly to half, but it still functions the way it's supposed to, you know? Like if you get 50% off a laptop, it cuts the laptop in half, but it still functions. Like you can. The only problem is like you don't. I mean, I'm wondering if it's like where if the keys, for example, from the laptops were gone. If they're just gone, like you can do this. Like the laptop's like here, you do this, and there's nothing there. Or if it's actually just invisible, but it just looks like it has been cut in half. Save, hey. Oh boy. I see a bunch of extra stuff. Wait, hold on. Okay, save. There's supposed to be a picture there, but SCP-1177 doing initial containment. We will never know what that is. Wait, did I even guess what? Yeah, I guess. See, I'm so tired I forgot I guessed. 177 is currently housed in the containment quarters of Site 40. A staff closed circuits camera monitors 1177 at all times. As if SCP-1177 attempts to practice self-harm, alert the head researcher as soon as possible. Per standard humanoid containment cautions personnel are to be searched before entering SCP-1177 chamber. Personnel are subject to an additional search upon exiting the chamber. SCP-1177 is a Latin American female of indeterminate age who possesses the ability to exchange severed pieces of her own body for goods and services. Similarly between the ability and that possessed by SCP-2855 has been noted. Investigation into the common source of both phenomena, or if only as a variant of the other one, is ongoing. Henry, I'm struggling. Although she appears elderly, this may be a result of her long-term abuse of her anomalous property and lifestyle. Interviews revealed that prior to entering Foundation custody, she has spent much of her adult life as a homeless vagrant. SCP-1177 was discovered in the redacted casino in Kansas after she bribed the doorman into allowing her entry, and made several attempts to play a nickel slot machine without the use of the casino tokens before being apprehended by security and delivered to her paramedics. Foundation agents alerted to these events posed as employees of a local mental health facility and were given the custody of the woman without incident. The slot machine and the rock under it was submitted for cleaning. Oh god. Possessions found on SCP-1177's person upon containment include one custom jewelry ring, 2 plastic earrings, toothbrush, 1 comb, fine-toothed, 3 empty wrappers belonging to the redacted fast food chain, 2 instant lottery tickets scratched off with no redemption value, 1 pocket knife, 1 washcloth blood-stained, 1 movie ticket stub, 1 piece of ham kept in an additional fast food chain wrapper, and 1 16-ounce barrel of rubbing alcohol with half the contents remaining. These objects were evaluated and discarded. Physical examination following containment revealed signs of self-mutilation covering her body, including numerous scars, healing wounds, missing teeth, and patches of hair. SCP-1177's 5th toes and right forefinger are missing. Her right middle finger has been crudely amputated after the lower joint, as has the upper joint of her right index finger. Tissue samples used by SCP-1177 are most commonly strips of flesh from the arms or legs, irregularly cut off using a pocket knife or other implement removed and cleaned of blood using a washcloth before being presented to those who are offered a section of SCP-1177's body recognize it as being detached human flesh, but do not manifest revulsion or surprise. Instead, they accept the flesh as an alternate form of payment, like a voucher or debit card. That's the coupon card. This varies in effectiveness based on several factors, including the subjects the normal likeliness of accepting alternate forms of payment, the size of payments expected, and the amount and type of flesh given. Okay, incident log 740. As demonstrated by an attempted containment breach on the 724th, SCP-177 is capable of using body parts as a form of lip bribery during food delivery. The woman gave the attendants redacted, which she had apparently not off without detection, in exchange for release from containment quarters. Oh, sorry about that. According to testimony, SCP-1177 quickly maneuvered to the front lobby of Site 40. The woman borrowed a pair of scissors from the receptionist before attempting to exit, flailing and requesting that the front door be unlocked. The desk attendant denied the request and called for a security officer. When security arrived, SCP-1177 attempted to use scissors to sever the remainder of her left ring finger. That is pretty messed up. Experiment 1. On the 8th/6th, an experiment was conducted in which 2 strips of flesh, each measuring a square inch, were taken from SCP-1177's leg, sanitized and given to researcher Dr. Rains. Purchased a hamburger at the Site 40 cafeteria but did not consume it, citing a loss of appetite. Research assistant Clark took a sample of SCP-1177 to a local convenience store and attempted to exchange it for a pack of cigarettes. When the shopkeeper asked for his ID, Clark displayed a piece of flesh and was met with revulsion. Hoping to avoid further argument, the researcher assistant left for a bookstore where he successfully bought a used book with a sample stress fractures keeping your job from getting to you on clearance for $3. So it looks like there's a certain range where that can work. Or not work at all, I don't know. Since the further experimentation has yielded the following transaction. 1 piece of muscle tissue, 0.5 ounces by weight, 3 bags of redacted brand chocolate candies priced at $0.50 each successful. 1 lock of hair for 1 comic book, redacted. Volume 1, issue 3 priced at $2.99. Transaction failed. The operator considered the payment insufficient. 1 lock of hair instead of 1 lock of hair before as well for 1 comic book. NFL Superhero Volume 1, issue 1 priced at $3 for $1. Transaction successful. So it's more. The lock of hair is worth more than $1, but less than nearly $3. So it's somewhere between that. 2 ounces vial of blood for 1 bag of redacted brand charcoal briquettes priced at $6.99. Transaction failed. The convenience store clerk considered the payment insufficient. Three 2 ounces vials of blood for 1 bag of redacted. We had that before. Branch transaction successful. The researcher was given 3 dimes and 1 nickel. Value $0.35 in change. So 2 vials of blood is worth $7.34 because that's how much the comic cost and how much money they got back. Okay, 1 piece of skin measuring 9 square inches in area for 1 gold-plated necklace successful. The transaction was made at a pawn shop. As of the 10th, the piece of skin is framed on a display in one of the shop's cabinets. Oh my god, why am I struggling? On the 8th/12th, researcher McCain stood on 5th Street in downtown, redacted, from the 1321 to 1352. During this time, he approached numerous pedestrians and requested that they make a change for him for the subway from one of the 10 samples of SCP-1177 stamped SCP-1177-45 through -55, each a 0.5 ounce chunk of skin and flesh taken from SCP-1177's abdomen. Each person who accepted a sample was tracked by a Foundation task force until a transaction was made which used a piece of issue. The following assaults were recorded. You guys don't understand how weird it feels. My right hand is cold, my left hand is warm. -45 placed in the tip jar of a coffee house. -46 used at an electronics store to purchase the PC game. Redacted. -47 used to partially cover the bills at an Irish tavern. -48 placed in an envelope and mail. -49 given to a homeless man. When this occurred, the man became very agitated and shouted unintelligibly at the subject until it was out of sight. -51. Oh, 50 is not here. This is deposited in a savings account at the local branch of a Golfia Bank. -52 placed in a dancer's top at a redacted German gentleman's club. Ew, that's disgusting. How can you feel okay with that just as an experiment as well? Exchange for chips at redacted casino. And -54 possessor evaded tracking behind an abandoned storage building. When the Foundation agents continued the pursuit, he was met with gunfire. Agent disengaged. Further investigation recommended. And -55 given the offering plate at the redacted Lutheran Church. Conclusion: samples of SCP-1177 are not single-use, although their value may not remain consistent among transactions. The only method of estimating how much SCP-1177 remains in circulation is through knowing the amount of scar tissue and number of open wounds on SCP-1177. Of special note is that at one point during any SCP-1177 experiment, the subject other than informed researchers display awareness of their composition. Experiment 3. Experiment 3 is currently in process, with a more long-term focus, the intention of measuring the age at which 1177 sample become inert. As of the 3rd, 8th, sample 71, which was removed from SCP-1177 6 months prior to this date, retains value in lieu of legal tender or as a voucher for other transactions. Honestly, guys, I just want to go to bed. Floating ICBM. What's ICBM? Oh, God, guys. I could faint. I'm not. Let's see. Does this lead to the coldest war? That's a Okay, we don't have to read that. Thank God. Keto. Oh, damn. Okay, we got a keto on our hands. An area of exclusion has been created. I have to check something now that we are. And also, gotta memorize that. Start reading at that point. Completely forgot. Oh yeah, I wanted to check something real quick. Okay. Kita, an area of exclusion has been created around SCP-1178 active area. Any human or vehicle entering this area is to be immediately terminated or destroyed. Security personnel patrolling this area from the ground must maintain a state of radio silence at all times. Aircraft patrolling the area must never move closer than 2 kilometers to SCP-1178's area of exclusion. Observational equipment must predate 1978 and be consistently manned by Foundation personnel. If SCP-1178 shows any signs of movement towards the perimeter, it is to be considered a containment breach and a possible apocalyptic scenario. Loudspeaker units set up around SCP-1178 must constantly create broadcasts of varying nature, including fabricated news reports of limited nuclear war between NATO states that possesses nuclear armaments and the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China. In addition, there to be reports indicating that the Midwestern United States have been devastated in a retaliatory strike and that the U.S. Army has invaded Kamchatka Peninsula. False broadcasts indicating troop movements and communication in the Soviet and United States armed forces. False surveillance broadcasts corresponding to the above events. Television signals for programming broadcasts between 1962 and 1981 in the Soviet Union. Advertisement for consumer products such as gas masks, radiation suits, and firearms capable of being used by a child or parent. SCP-1178 doing its initial launch event In the event that SCP-1178 begins to accelerate, all personnel to initiate the Prethia protocols. In the event of a Prethia protocol failure, Overwatch Command is to be set on high alert for the imminent possibility of an end of the world scenario. I'm wishing an end of the world scenario. SCP-1178 is a Soviet area RT-2 intercontinental ballistic missile. NATO reported name SS-5 Skeen, manufactured sometime between 1962 and 1967. SCP-1178 is suspended exactly 1.34 kilometers in the air above a former Soviet missile base. SCP-1178 rockets will activate intermittently, however, it has never been observed to move outside of breach events. If any vehicle or mammalian organism approaches or SCP-1178 from a distance of 200 kilometers, that's a long range, or if a broadcast is contrary to the standard SCP-1178 broadcast is made in SCP-1178's range, and it will begin to slowly accelerate itself from the position above the base. SCP-1178 moves very slowly within the highest speed ever contained, being an estimated 1.6 kilogram per hour. That can't be right. Achieved during its initial activation event. SCP-1178 acceleration. I lost acceleration to be super to breach when it will cause SCP-1178 secondary effect. To initiate the initiation of the Prethia protocol must be done within 3 minutes of SCP-1178's acceleration in order to be effective. In SCP-1178, secondary effects will initiate the event that the missile is able to accelerate to a speed greater than 0.2 kilograms per hour. I don't know. Oh, that's it. Okay. The early nuclear detection system of any former Soviet state will begin to indicate an imminent nuclear strike. Starting with radar stations, all equipment possessed by these nations will begin indicating a massive nuclear strike coming from any nuclear-capable NATO nations. When these states have gone on alert for the possibility of a nuclear strike, the equipment of any nuclear-capable NATO nations will also begin to indicate an imminent nuclear strike from any country currently affected by SCP-1178. Note that SCP-1178 will only affect the early detection equipment of this country and does not affect the actual launch devices or the commanders in charge of said devices. I'm gonna sleep well tonight. I hope. I'm so tired. This lemonade cannot help me anymore. It just tastes good. The Prethia protocol calls for sleeper agents within nuclear detection organization in various NATO and former Soviet states to sabotage the early detection systems of the countries they were working for. This is to create a plausible explanation for why these systems showed false readings. Once it has been achieved, personnel are to ignore or cast doubt on any readings detected by equipment affected by SCP-1178. In the event that one nation launches a nuclear attack, the response systems of the recipient nations are authorized to be disabled by Foundation agents to minimize the damage created by a nuclear strike and avert an X-case scenario. Prior to SCP-1178's containment, several incidents of near accidental nuclear strikes by world powers were reported to the Foundation by assets integrated in the Soviet GRU or GRU and the American CIA, leading to the discovery and recognition of SCP-1178 as an anomaly. A partial list of incidents caused by SCP-1178 has been included in this report. Object history on SCP-1178 was launched, which was reported as the Soviet Union, test by the Soviet Union. During the launch, GRU Division P report says that the SCP-1178 ceased to accelerate and unexpectedly detonated once it reaches a height of 1.33 kilometers. At the same time, earlier, early warning nuclear detection equipment in the USSR began to display an imminent nuclear strike by the US. It is not known why the USSR did not retaliate in response to these readings. Approximately 6 days after the incident occurred, the GRU evacuated and then demolished the base and established a permanent observation center. I'm going to set a time. Oh, yeah. Not yet. I will do that afterwards. Recovered records indicate that SCP-1178 was launched at an object present in the atmosphere over Siberia, but the appearance and properties of the objects are unknown, as all information on the object was destroyed in 1991. After an unknown period of time, SCP-1178 began affecting the areas around the base, leading to its second activation event. Following the event, the area of exclusion that currently exists around it was established. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, GRU personnel began broadcasting the signals currently used by SCP personnel to contain SCP-1178. It is believed that research with SCP-1178 had led them to create an elaborate post-war hoax in order to keep SCP-1178 pacified. Come on. Research notes recovered from the GRU theorized that SCP-1178 only motivation to activate was to eradicate the Earth through nuclear war, and if such a war had already occurred, it would remain inert until another civilian capable of conducting a nuclear war arose. Last one. I'm so tired. I could just fall asleep right here, right now, to be honest. Centralian Fire Demon. Well, it's a demon made out of pure fire. Isn't there like an urban legend in America about like some sort of like fire, covered in fire entity that just pops up when you're like in a car, something like that? Please keep. Oh, fuck! It's not short. Well, it's not long, but it's not short. Keto, second keto. We had like 1 or 2 saves, and then 2 ketos, and the rest was Euclid. SCP-1179 is apparently dormant. For thousands of years are laid dormant. Who dares? Encased in the bedrock on the research site Apart from simple monitoring and standard research safety protocols, no additional containment is deemed necessary at this time. Edited 5th, 1962. Due to the subterranean nature, self-ambulatory capabilities and physical properties of SCP-1179, reinforcement of containment has to date proven impossible. Project Tartarus is charged with continuous research into developing additional practical containment measures for SCP-1179. It is speculated that SCP-1179 is capable of being destroyed as wounds inflicted by heavy ordnance during the evacuation attempts of Expedition 1179-6 were later observed to not have healed. To date, isolation and observation of SCP-1179 has mostly proven sufficient, as SCP-1179 has demonstrated no efforts to move above ground and has limited itself to a roughly 2-kilometer radius from its original location of discovery. In the event that SCP-1179 should be observed to move beyond recorded areas, personnel are to immediately notify O5 Command. The land above SCP-1179 has been designated as Area 179 by the Foundation due to the proximity of the civilian population center, which cannot be moved. Area 179 is the only employed low-field nuclear fail-safe device. Edited 1992. Also, there's a picture saying, "Warning, danger underground mine fire. Walking or driving this area could result in serious injury or death. Dangerous gases are present. Ground is prone to sudden collapse. Local sign warning of area 179 restricted, or 179 basically, restricted status. Image taken 4th October 2006. The sign no longer stands." Ugh. The general public has become aware of SCP-1179 because at least there's a couple story that is in fact an anthracite coal mine fire caused by trash dump fire. Foundation personnel to infiltrate and coordinate all efforts to extinguish the blaze of the protection of both involving civilians and SCP-1179. All efforts to extinguish the blaze have ceased. It edited 1980. Come on, it's the last one. Civilians living above SCP-1179 have suffered adverse health effects due to byproducts of the fire, including carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and insufficient oxygen levels. Civilians are no longer permitted in Area 179. 1992. Effects on civilians are with intolerable levels, with the population unaware of the scale of SCP-1179. Following the incident with Todd Dombrowski and the associated quantity of press coverage, the Foundation is to work to relocate civilians from Area 179. Area 179 has been claimed by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania under the eminent domain 1992. It has subsequently been closed to all unauthorized personnel, with the Pennsylvania government enforcing evictions of unauthorized residents. Edited 2009. A bunker has been constructed in a geological stable section of Area 179, allowing for Foundation operation in the area monitoring of SCP-1179. Foundation security personnel along with local law enforcement are to coordinate to prevent civilians from entering Area 179 in accordance with warnings issued by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. Personnel within Area 179 are to restrict their movements to approved areas due to the geological instability caused by SCP-1179. SCP-1179 has not been clearly and scientifically observed since May 1962 during Incident CB 1962. The original file described of SCP-1179 as follows. SCP-1179 appears to be a giant, vaguely humanoid figure carved from an unknown volcanic rock. In one hand it holds a whip, in the other hand a sword. Its face has vaguely human features, including a long beard, though it has two large horns like those of a ram flanking its face. SCP-1179 measures over 30 meters from head to toe, with shoulders over 8 meters wide. It resembles a carving of the Norse Eldjotun Sutter. Yeah, I thought so. The giant guarding the frontier of the Norse fire realm of Muspel. The dating of the stratum encasing SCP-1179 indicates that it dates to the Mississippian sub-period of the Carboniferous period, approximately 359.2 till 318.1 million years ago. This age is consistent with the geological age of this region. You know what's also consistent? I'm about to faint. I'm trying my hardest to not lose my focus. SCP-1179 has since demonstrated the ability to change the shape at will and to become invisible, and without form appearing as a giant flying shade. Photographic evidence has failed to produce a conclusive image of SCP-1179 due to the inexplicable camera feed disruption, operator panic, and physical destruction of cameras. Expeditionary teams have described SCP-1179 as having hellfire for eyes and generally having great height. Its body often is seen as a combination of fire, smoke, and hardening lava. From there, the description began to diverge wildly. Survivors generally describe its head as monstrous, with some mentioning curved horns consistent with the original form of SCP-1179. Others argue it has fangs lodged in a man's arm. Still others state that SCP-1179 has neither horns nor arms, and its face is encircled by flames which reach down into the long beard of fire. It looks different to everybody. Eyewitnesses cannot agree whether or not it has wings. Most agree that it is usually armed with a multi-tailed whip of flame glowing red sword of fire several meters in length. Sorry about that. Though it will at times appear with either the whip or the sword or neither. Though of the great size, it is apparently capable of moving both quickly and quietly. Those few who survive encounters with SCP-1179 generally describe it as smelling of rotten eggs and old chimneys. Chemical analysis of air samples taken from SCP-1179 brief have shown exceptionally high concentration of carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. Last bit to read. Come on. SCP-1179 was discovered in 1971, 5 years after anthracite coal mining was begun in the area, or it has begun. It was nicknamed the Sleeping Stone Giant. The mine shaft in which it was discovered belonged to Mr. Sean O'Malley. A member of the Molly Maguire Irish-American Secret Society. Come on, Afro, you can do it. Whose members were predominantly coal miners in Pennsylvania. The society keeps the Sleeping Stone Giant hidden away, a closely guarded secret. Though the Molly Maguires was dismantled in the late 1870s, the giant guardians managed to escape prosecution. The Sleeping Stone Giant came to the attention of the Foundation in 1920. When operators were conducting a routine background check into prospective agent Ian O'Malley, grandson of the original Mr. O'Malley. A land above the giant mine shaft was purchased by the Foundation Fund Company and research site was established. In May 1962, residents of the nearby town lit a trash fire in the landfill which had been created from an abandoned coal mine. Those responsible for garbage disposal followed insufficient safety protocols, and a steam of anthracite coal ignited. The steam was small, and Foundation geologists have determined it would have burned out in approximately 2 years had it not run on the researcher's site. The fire reached SCP-1179, which promptly reanimated in the presence of the fire. Upon reanimation, SCP-1179 killed all Foundation personnel at research site and significantly damaged the site's bunker. It subsequently retreated into the honeycomb of coal mines and caverns in the area, igniting subsequent anthracite coal fires. The mines, caverns, and surrounding countryside were designated Area 179, though due to the nearby towns civilian population of several thousands of individuals, standard area construction protocols for heater containment could not be observed. These were modified to fit the circumstances. 5 separate expeditionary teams were sent in to capture SCP-1179 between 1962 and 1970, though none were successful. They did determine that SCP-1179 had proven capable of expanding the caverns to vast proportions and unknown depth. Satellite imagery and evidence of noxious gases and ground collapse contradict these accounts, and the photographic evidence which confirms them, indicating that the mine fires are only burning in an area covering roughly 400 acres or 1.62 square kilometers. The discrepancy between the size of the cavern has to date not been reconciled. In 1970, Foundation geologists determined that the subterranean fires caused by SCP-1179 would remain burning for an excess of 250 years, with Foundation personnel successful in perpetrating the half-truth of the original cause of the mine fires and unsuccessful both in recovering SCP-1179 for removal and transfer to the alternate location, extinguishing the blazes they had caused. The decision was made to instead relocate the nearby town. Concurrently, Project Tartarus was formally begun to develop and refine permanent special containment procedures for SCP-1179 and determine means to extinguish the anthracite fires. Foundation personnel have worked constantly in the area. Oh, it's me this time. To ensure that continuation of the mine fire or cover story and prevent civilians from encountering SCP-1179, though this proved increasingly difficult as the local situation continued to deteriorate. In 1981, 12-year-old local Tom Dombrowski fell into a sinkhole approximately 1.25 meters wide by 46 meters deep, which opened beneath his feet his backyard. He was saved by his cousin, 14-year-old Eric Wolfgang. The plum have hot steam billowing from the whole samples of SCP-1179's breath, spurred both by the worsening mine fires and by covered lobbying by Foundation political contacts. In 1984, and in the United States, Congress allocated funds in excess of $42 million to relocate the civilian residents from the area at the suggestion of undercover agent. Pennsylvania Governor Bob Casey claimed eminent domain on all properties in the borough, condemning all buildings within. Foundation personnel ensured that the subsequent legal effort by residents to have the decisions reversed were met with failure. As a result, full heated area containment protocols could finally be observed. Addendum 1. Research is pending into harnessing the anthracite coal fires as means of energy production, as they will likely continue burning for the foreseeable future. See Project Vulcan Forge or contact Project Lead Dr. Crane or Area 179 Director Wilson for further details. Image relating to SCP-1179's effect on the area. Damage caused by SCP-1179 to form of Pennsylvania route 61. A hillside in Area 179 which has been collapsed to the SCP-1179. And last but not least, noxious gases rising from a single in Area 179. Chemical analysis suggests some of these were the breath of SCP-1179. I am not gonna do the usual thing. I'm not going to the usual explanation of the rank. I'm so tired, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. I was so ready for today's stream, and then I sat down out of nowhere. The tiredness just smacked me. So here's the list of the SBs I enjoyed from the top. I enjoyed the most to the one that I still enjoy, but not as much. So good night. I wish you all a good morning, afternoon, evening. This Wednesday, Lexi cannot stream, so I have to find something else to do. Potionomics on Thursday, and potential whole night start on Friday, and then SCP, the last, hopefully without any issues, the last 20 SCPs of the 1100s.